it is a challenging circuit with the height of the circuit, the temperatures that we see. We've arrived here, and it's usually kind of not in the perfect window of operating temperatures for our car. But I'd like to think we're in a better position this year with the improvements that we've made for this season's car, so time will tell.
Definitely just for drivability. I think last year, we made some steps, but it was a really difficult car to drive. I'd really try and push it to the limit, but it was snapping on me. I was losing the rear end and losing confidence, whereas I think, obviously we've only done Barcelona so far, but it was really pleasant to drive. So I think for me and for Nicholas as well, it's going to give us more confidence and hopefully just bring that bit of extra performance.
I think the whole process of going through last year, struggling all the way through the year, just made us stronger. Made us work together as a team better. Made us look into different things that we wouldn't normally look into. I think it's just these hard times like last year will make you stronger overall as a team. I think the positive thing is that the team kept fighting all the way through, made some good decisions, hard, difficult decisions, but made them and stuck with it. And yeah, I think this car this year seems to be a very different car. At least that's all we can say right now. I hope tomorrow we can say, or maybe on Saturday after qualifying we can say it was as good as we thought. I mean, it feels very good, but of course everyone else would have made their cars feel better as well. So it's very exciting. This is the first race of the year, and this is I have the same kind of feeling that I normally have going into Australia. It's very exciting to see where everyone stacks up and where you're really going to be in the races.
Kimi, the new technical rules have been delayed to 2022. It's an unusual season this year. There's carryover of cars until 2021 as well. So it is a bit of a weird time for Formula One. Have any of these decisions impacted the likelihood of you staying in Formula One beyond 2020? And when do you think you'll make a decision on your future?
No, it hasn't. I mean, obviously that's how it's gonna be with the rules and everything, but it doesn't really dictate what happens in the future. And I mean, obviously, right answer is before next year starts, but I don't know. I mean, we haven't done single race. Obviously, it's a very odd situation this year, so we'll wait and see what happens.
Kimi, do you enjoy driving these current spec cars and the fact that they're going to be around next year as well? On one level, does that please you?
I wouldn't say that they're a lot different than what we had some years ago. Yes, the regulation changes, but the driving part doesn't change that much really. So we'll see. If we do well, obviously it's always more fun than if we don't do. But we have no idea where we're going to be, so we do our best and go from this weekend and work from there, and the future will decide it at some point.
We are about to find out how competitive it really is. It felt good in Barcelona, definitely. It had good potential, but it's been a while since then. I don't know how much other teams were able to improve since then. So yeah, we are just about to find out. I certainly feel extremely positive, extremely motivated to start the season on a high and hope for the best. I hope that we can be fighting for the top three, challenge the top three teams. That would be something good for us.
I think it feels amazing to be back on a racetrack. You can't see the smile behind the mask, but obviously really happy to be here after such a long break, and it was really unusual time for I think everybody. Of course, it was quite difficult to see the start of the season delayed without really knowing when we will start. But finally F1 managed to do a really good job in putting everything in place to keep people safe and start this season this weekend in Austria, which is our home race.
This is a circuit, which wasn't a great one for us last year, so I'm actually very happy to come back here. Not only once but twice. I think you'd certainly learn more from your worst days or least good circuits.
So I forgot English over the break by the sounds of it. But yeah, I think, you know, we obviously drove the car in Barcelona, but it'll be not only a different car, but different circumstances here on this circuit. But it was improved. I think it's only going to get better. I'm excited for what we've got coming here this weekend. But yeah, I'm certainly really curious to gauge it, you know, to the car I drove here last year. As I said, it was a pretty tough weekend for us. So I'm very optimistic that we're going to find quite a lot, not only with this year's car, but now with the updates that we're going to have.
We know Daniel will leave Renault at the end of 2020, but who would you prefer as a teammate for next year? A young talent, a rising star, or a world champion like Fernando Alonso or Sebastian Vettel?
My personal choice has no relation to what the team is going to do, but I have a great relationship with Fernando. I mean, the helmet I have and the only swap I did in between the drivers was with him, and he was the one with Michael, you know, his fights back in the days that gave me the love for the sport. So I don't know if, you know, he's going to join or not with us, but definitely, you know, if he could come back with me, I would be very happy.
I think we had a positive test, only 6 days, but we definitely managed to cover everything we wanted to do. Car felt an evolution and step compared to last year, from what I can remember, and we were ready to go into Melbourne to keep our fight and to keep fighting for what we were kind of fighting last year, I guess. I think that next step of fighting the top is still very far away, or still far away. But definitely steps that we wanted to cover over the winter with the upgrades that we did with the new MCL 35 were achieved, at least in testing were achieved, and we were quite happy. What we were obviously a bit surprised of is that all the teams also did evolve quite a lot, and there were some very strong packages out there, and that is going to mount a very strong challenge to beat the rest of the midfield, and we are going to have to do our absolute best to fight them, because they're going to be very strong.
We are definitely in a good position, and we kept pushing, like, you know, bringing all the parts here already, having an upgraded engine already. I think that is just it's a good start. Of course, all those things were scheduled, but to be able, of course, after the 4 months layoff to be able to bring it here, that's just good. And I'm just really looking forward to get started, and then we'll find out where we are, because after such a long break, and you know, only having done winter testing, which is anyway a little bit of a question mark always. You don't really know exactly where you are. It's better to just go out on track and see where we are instead of just keep talking about it.
It feels good. It feels how we left off. Yeah, as Max said, it's quite hard to say, just because we've spent winter testing, and already in winter testing you don't know where everyone is. So you add another 4 months to that, and anyone could go any direction. So car feels good. I think the main thing for us is just to focus on ourselves. We're happy with what we have. And as Max said, we'll see in FP1 if we're competitive or not.
I think it's going to be a very challenging season for us. It's definitely not going to be easy. We still have this question mark, and we still need to wait for qualifying to be absolutely sure of what we say, even though we are 99% sure that we'll be struggling more than last year.
Since the day that I joined, we've tried everything together to fight for the championship, which I think is what we've done on several occasions. We did not win the championship, so in that regard, looking back also, you can say that I have failed, we have failed. Obviously, we set out with a clear target that we wanted to achieve, and the truth is that up to this point we didn't. Now we still have this season ahead of us. Given that it's such a strange season, strange start, without fans, without people here, I think it's impossible to know exactly what will expect us. So I think it would be too soon to write everything off. But when we're talking about looking back, I think here and there was missing a little bit. I think in the end we were never able to put a package together that was good enough until the end of the year to fight for the championship.
I like this track. I was pretty happy when I heard there's going to be 2 races here. Historically, if you look at in the past, I've also had tracks that has not been very successful, but I'm being able to still be good there. So it's tricky to say anything from the past. It's a new season after a long break, but I feel I've had a good preparation within myself and with the team, so that's why I do feel confident. And but it doesn't help saying anything more than that at this point, because very soon we'll see where we are as a team and also me personally pace-wise.
Lewis, a few weeks ago you called on the industry to stop its silence and speak out against racial inequality. Since then, your fellow drivers have lent their voices to amplifying the message. Formula One has established its own diversity initiative. Chase Carey's put $1 million of his own money into a foundation that F1's setting up to create opportunities for underrepresented groups. And Mercedes has obviously changed its livery and pledged an internal review. So are you happy and satisfied with the response you've seen so far? What more do you think can be done? And do you think this is sustainable to make sure that this is an issue that is tackled properly instead of just being a headline that then disappears from the public eye?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it is a shame that we've had to, it's taken another death of a black man in the States to kind of really kickstart this all, and to have that, but in one sense, having that film, that's really what sparked it all and given us the kind of the platform and the microphone to be able to raise awareness, to help try and encourage people to educate themselves, and I've personally had to spend a lot of time trying to also educate myself to make sure that I'm fully up to date with everything that's been passed and what is present. I think Formula One have been great. I've spent a lot of time on the phone with them, doing Zoom calls, talking about their plans and how we can move forwards united. I spent a lot of time talking with Mercedes, and it's great to see them on board and being part of this process of shifting and focusing on equality and inclusivity. But there are a lot of people that just take a moment to say something, to post Blackout Tuesday, but they're not really doing much. The call out was really for everyone in this industry, and it doesn't matter. There's so many great jobs here, there's so many opportunities, but none so far, or very, very few opportunities have been shown to minorities. And so I think that we really do have to push. More needs to be done, for sure, but it is a starting point.